Hello, it's sunny today but it is super windy. And it's so windy that the wind is coming through the back of the greenhouse somewhere and vibrating against the plastic sheeting that I've put on it and making the noise somewhere between a bumblebee and something less polite, and it's making me smile every time it does it. So I've been in here this morning and the small little squash plants that are growing are just beginning. I will neatly throw bits on the floor, but they're just beginning to get some roots coming through the bottom. So I decided that it was time to get them into big pots. Now, I know normally you put them into a smaller pot or a slightly larger pot and then a bigger pot again, but I don't want to keep repotting them. I'm going to shut the louver window, see if that helps. It helps a bit. So rather than putting them into slightly larger pots and then larger pots again, put them into really big pots. I'm hoping they don't get pot shock or whatever it is that it's called. So I've moved them into huge pots, which is where they're going to live until they go out to the ground. I might try, I'm going to ignore it now, I might try a few in just the next size up pot and see if they do better, but I see no reason that they shouldn't do alright in these large pots, because I'm not changing their environment in terms of just putting them outside. They're staying in the greenhouse, so the only thing that's changed is the amount of space their roots have to grow in. It's actually really windy outside. My lovely chairs that we were given by the neighbour have been blown over on the decking. Very sensibly, all the birds are inside, not getting blown around in these. What I'm guessing are 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts, because it is mighty fierce. It's warm, but it is fierce. So I've worked out what it is that's causing the noise. The wind is coming in through this gap here, and it's coming up behind this piece of plastic and making it vibrate. Luckily there are places outside that I can hide from the worst of the wind. So at the moment I'm squatting down and hiding behind the duck house. I'm sitting on one of the raised beds, so I'm ducked down really low. This morning I started to plant some of the broad bean plants outside, and the bed that they're going into is mostly filled with wood chippings, which haven't rotted down as much as I wanted them to, and I've decided that I need to make better planting pockets for the plants to go in, so that when their roots do spread out, they're not just spreading into wood chip and getting no nutrition. So I have paused with doing that until I can bring some more compost over, and the rest of the day I've spent inside and just dashing out in between the rain showers. I've just been back outside to try and film a bit more out there, but it's way too blowy out in the open. In the greenhouse there is that lovely noise continuing, so I thought the best thing to do would be to talk to you in here from the comfort of a kitchen chair, without all the extra blowy noises going on. The only thing you might hear is Monty, who's decided that because it's windy outside, he ought to be playing inside, and at the moment is doing things like chasing the rug and swinging from the curtains, which is not the nicest of habits, but it's certainly nicer than a lot of others that I could think of. I think most of the day today has been written off as too windy to work outside. When I tried this morning, my ears were almost ringing from the wind whooshing past them, which is interesting because all winter the wind is like this, with driving rain, and it's cold as well. Maybe in the winter I wear a hat more or something, but anyway, that's outside done for today. The tree surgeon called round earlier on, dropped off some more wood chippings. Actually, it was a huge trailer load. That was a good 6, 7, possibly even 8 cubic metres of wood chippings. And it's now forming sort of a new lunar landscape out in the orchard. So I'll need to move that to its new home in the next week or so, in preparation for him to bring the next lot. And the wood chippings he's bought this time are a cypress. He said it was an absolutely enormous cypress. So he's bought the first load of that, and I'm going to use that in the pathways, in the food forest and in the annual vegetable garden, mostly in the annual vegetable garden, and then they can just sit there over the next 2 or 3 years and rot down and break down, and once they've broken down and the pathways start looking more like soil, that will get lifted up, put onto the raised beds, and the next load of wood chippings will go down onto the pathways. It's going to be a very blustery night. We have the good fortune of absolutely amazing views out from our homestead, across fields, and then in that direction it's down to the river, which takes you out to sea, and in that direction it's the Brecon Beacons. So we have beautiful views, but by having that very open landscape around us, it does mean we are subject to these very strong winds that come through and batter us. And one of the things that we didn't realise when we moved here is that by having the solar panels on the roof, they are about a couple of inches raised off the roof. And it seems to me, and I'm making this up so I don't actually know, but it seems to me that the wind gets underneath those panels and absolutely not only shakes them, but kind of whistles as it goes through. So it's quite noisy in here at night when it's very windy. Anyway, that's probably enough of me blithering for today. Tomorrow, lots of things happening tomorrow. Tomorrow I want to prepare broody houses for hens to go in, broody hens to go in preparation for eggs in the incubator to go under. I was hoping to do that today, but there was a very real risk when I lifted the lid to the particular chicken house that we're going to use, that the wind would have caught it and actually just snapped it off, and I could just wait today. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope the weather's being kind to you, and I also hope you'll join me again tomorrow. Hello, hello.